Welcome to OK Miniatures. For today's project, I wanted to make a door that I could put in front of wall segments to make it look like a door. The idea is that this would be fairly modular, so I can use it for different building types, put it in different locations, not actually have it fixed to one building. To start out with, I grabbed one of these doors I cast a few months ago. Made a video on this by using a silicone mold. If you don't have one on hand, you could carve one up in foam. These are much nicer than, I find them better than foam since they are very thin. If you have a hot wire, you could cut a thin piece of foam, but with just having a knife, it can be kind of difficult to do that. So I like these little guys. So using the door as a template, I cut out a piece of cardboard to glue everything onto. This door is going to be only one-sided. If you wanted to, if you had a better silicone mold, you could make it so that it's two-sided, but I'm okay with just one side. Since I'm intending to put it up against a building, not just have it representing a wall in like a dungeon crawler sort of setup. I left a bit of a border around the door on the cardboard piece. Main goal of the cardboard is to hold everything together. So I'm going to have more than just the door. I'm going to have some stone going around the edges, and this will give that something to glue those foam bricks onto. For the stone, I found some leftover bricks that I had, cut them down to an appropriate size. Nothing particular here, just what I thought looked good. And then I went ahead and hot glued them onto the cardboard along with the door. I did try to have like a few jagged edges on the stone since these aren't going to be perfectly masoned or anything like that. Once everything was glued on, I went ahead and textured it using a tinfoil ball. I would recommend using a stone or something harder if you have it on hand. I only have tinfoil, so that's what I used. It's a little bit cold and snowy out to go find a rock, so I'll do that in the spring. After it was all textured, I coated everything in Mod Podge. I think this gives it a nice durable layer, protects the foam a little bit, and protects the plaster from chipping off or anything like that. It is pretty strong, but having an extra layer is always a good thing. Then I was on to painting. I started with the door using brown paint mixed with some gray like I used for the wood tiles I made last week. These two colors mixed together gave it a nice variation that looks fairly realistic for wood. For the stone, I went ahead and just used my standard gray mixed with some black and working my way up towards just gray for dry brushing and or splattering, dabbing it with the paintbrush to give it different textured looks. After that, I went ahead and put a metallic paint on the hinges and doorknob. I went a little bit heavy on this. I think it's better to leave a little bit of that black paint from the Mod Podge layer showing through, but still looks alright. A dry brush would probably be a better way to go rather than painting it on. After all the paint was dried, I hit everything with a black wash to fill in those wood grain lines in the wood and accentuate any dark spaces in the stone. Then it was good to go. I like how this turned out. I would say I would in the future make a little bit of a base for it so it can stand up on its own. Potentially make it twice as thick and have it two-faced. Like if I stuck another one of these guys on the back side, then I can have a door facing either way, which would be great for dungeons. Then you can just use this guy to represent a wall and you don't actually have to build a wall in your dungeon. If you found this helpful, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. With that, I'll see you in the future.